Hello and happy Halloween from Paper Tuesdays. I am Mark Halvin, he is Michael Dwyer.
Hello there. Do you think we look spooky, Mark?
I don't know because I can't see.
We probably look queer anyway.
I think so, very spooky. Where did we get these, Michael?
These are from a Chinese Euro 2 shop in Enniscorthy. Shout out to them.
And they didn't even sponsor us. So do you know what? Out, as Buffy gonna say.
Good point. Mark, do you remember last Halloween? We had a lovely episode where we had Michael Fortune on the old Zoom. He was very good, wasn't he?
He was class, yeah. He's probably busy now this time of year, is he?
Yeah, probably. I'd say telling all the local radios about the old stories. And it prompted me this afternoon to have a look back and see what ghost stories there are in the Gorey area.
Yeah.
So I have I have 3 in total, Mark. I want you to decide which ones you believe in.
Okay? Yes. Okay, yeah.
Right. So this first one comes from Kylenearn. It comes from Ballinasstraw House, and during Sir Thomas Esmond's time there, right, a ghost visited the pond, and it's noted in this account that the pond was surrounded by foreign trees. Must have been a very impressive pond with the foreign trees.
Yeah.
Foreign trees, yeah. Larry Esmond heard someone one night, and he went over and tried to save them. He thought they were drowning in the pond, and he heard 3 screams at the other side. So Larry went over to the other side. He saw a light, but he just thought that was someone else coming to help him. And then he saw a huge man standing motionless. Guess how tall this man was, Mark Alban?
7 foot.
20 feet in height.
Jesus Christ, he had a measuring tape on him.
So Larry shouted, "Oh, come to my aid, someone." Oh, come to my aid.
That is one way not to get help.
And after a while, he managed to get around to the house. It was said that this man was drowned after the pond was made, and this was him coming back to life, coming out of the pond, all 20 feet of him.
How does a 20-foot man drown? Would you go into Harrington shouting, "No, come to my aid, Dr. Harrington"? Where is the physician?
So what do you think, Drew? I love how it ends. Like, I thought there'd be more to this. I thought, we'd figure out the identity of this 20-foot man, but no. Real, fake?
True.
Okay. Next one, another local one. This is about Hunter Gown. Did you ever grow up with the stories of Hunter Gown?
No.
Oh, I grew up with many. So he was meant to have been a priest hunter. And
what? He hunted priests?
Yeah. Back in 98, and he led an orange mob after 98, and so it said that 1798, yes, not 19.
Hunted priests for a different reason in 1998.
There's this whole story of him, his finger, using the finger of a priest to swirl a punch bowl, and he said to hell or the mount, and then that night he was killed by people that were unhappy with him killing the priest, and then he didn't make it to the mount, which was his home place, Mount Nebo, near Hollyfort. But anyway, this is a different hunter story, okay? So, a presumed priest hunter, this is after the years of Hunter Gown, so this is like, say, 50 years after 98, and all of them are dead and gone. John Mulligan, shout out John, long dead, from Kilnahue, he saw apparitions of a uniformed cavalryman coming to attack him. But then, before the cavalryman reached him, he also saw a priest in full vestments saving him, and this apparition was meant to have been Hunter Gown coming to attack him, but he was saved by Father Redmond. Father Redmond was hung on a fabricated charge back in 1998, and he's buried in Gorey Hill. And the shock of the apparition. Sorry.
You said 1998.
What again?
He wasn't know. He wasn't hung.
Oh, I keep going 98. Yeah, 1798. Just to be clear.
Sorry. Go on. So he was hung.
Yeah, your man Father Redmond was hung back in, so this is somehow, he was hung in 1798 and he's buried in Gorey Hill along with Patrick Carroll, and somehow the apparition of John Mulligan seeing this event unfold led to his ultimate death in a few days later, and the horse that John Mulligan was on at the time was ever addicted to shivers. That's a direct quote. Ever addicted to the shivers, that horse was.
How did he die?
John Mulligan?
Yeah.
From the shock.
From the shock?
Of seeing this apparition. It was so vivid, so strong. to see the two, the hunter gown figure coming to him and then the priest saving him. So now, true or false?
So, are you asking me, do I think you made it up or do I think this actually happened?
Yeah, I think you thought it was going to be true or false. All of these are actually true,
they're all true stories.
But still, we don't, like, they're folklore. They come with it, bits and pieces. But, like, this is it's fairly strong in that it says that this was John Mulligan of Kilnahue, who was a farmer.
Yeah, I do. Based on the detail, I think it's true. They even go into his horse.
Yeah. So there you are. Two very local stories. Now we're going down to the south of the county, Mark. I just thought this was a funny one. Cushinstown. So this was the tale of two men, and they were travelling by horse and car, and then they reached the graveyard, and didn't they see a ghostly figure of a woman and a man in another car roaring, "Begone to God or the devil or whoever you belong to." They never saw that woman anymore because she was a ghost. That's the direct quote there.
It's just like when you don't know the answer for something, so you just say anything confidently. Because she was a ghost.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I think I love that quote, and I love "I'll come to my aid." I just think, wow.
It's very Trumpish, isn't it, the last one? It's like, because she was a ghost.
Yeah.
No more questions.
So true. So true.
Speaking of Trump, actually, I see an article of, I'll find it here, but someone was in a meeting with Trump and Boris Johnson.
Oh.
And they wrote an article about the meeting. I'll try to find it now. So, here it is. Trump and Boris Johnson once spent a considerable part of a meeting discussing how strong kangaroos are.
You can see it happening, all right.
Yeah, former President Donald Trump and UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson once spent a considerable part of a meeting discussing how strong kangaroos were, the former White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham wrote in an upcoming tell-all, according to her excerpt in The Guardian. Apparently they riffed on a wide variety of topics during the meetings, including kangaroos and gallbladders.
That's mad. Did you hear actually that Boris is also he's looking at bringing in the mushrooms, or well, for specific studies or something anyway. I saw
Boris?
a headline about it, yeah.
Jesus.
He's open-minded about fungi and mushrooms, magic mushrooms for, well, psilocybin of course, for depression and the like. Another Halloween one, Mark, this comes from New Zealand. Ian Brackenberg, he's got his P45. He used to get $10,000 a year to serve as Christchurch's official wizard. He was the official wizard of Christchurch, and they've decided since 98 he used to get this money for his work as a wizard, and he's fuming as he says the council lacks imagination, and he projects an image of bureaucrats drinking lattes on the boulevard. I don't know if that's in the context of him being sacked or not, but anyway, every day the world gets more serious, so fun is the most powerful thing the world has in the world right now. That was Ian's comment as a result. But the wizard is going to keep on doing his wizardry, even though he won't get paid for it.
What was his duties?
To conjure up magic and provide an attraction for the people of Christchurch.
Right, and he was state paid.
Yeah.
And was he like a busker type thing where he's on the street?
Yeah, you can picture, I'm sure Robbie could muster up an image or something, but like if you picture the wizard figure with, the strong beard, grey beard, basically, a foreboding figure.
Yeah. I agree with him, we need more wizards with stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. There will be competitions like of the Wizard of Out of the Battle, who will be this year. And yeah, I think every parish should have a wizard then, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
How do we get that motion going?
I don't know, petitions, I suppose.
Petition, I'll write you a letter.
Yeah. Do I have any other spooky stories? Oh, well, Demi the Battle, who goes by they or them, sang Skyscraper in the hopes of calming a mysterious being called Carmen on a new UFO series called An Unidentified with Demi Lovato. I wasn't really too sure what the article was about, but I don't know how she calmed down an ET figure. Excuse me. I would rather. Yeah, how they did that. But anyway, yeah. So now, what do you think, Mark? Do you think she was able to connect? Oh my God! Do you think they were able to connect with the extraterrestrial being?
I think they were great, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Fair play to them.
Fair play to them. Now, also fair play to them at the University in St Andrews, Fife. They celebrated Raisin Monday, Mark. And as far as I can see, it's nothing to do with raisins. All it involves is a massive shaving foam fight. And the people there are covered in shaving foam. Just absolutely covered. A white scene there. Chaotic scenes altogether. And there was even a good picture snapped there by the Scottish version of Ger Lacey of a young one and a young fella snogging the face off each other with the shaving foam going everywhere.
Jeez, it reminds you of Storm, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, the foam.
The foam parties. I was never at one now, were you?
No,
it wouldn't have interested me now. I was
too much of an inconvenience for you, was it?
Yeah, well, no, we were fat children as well, so it would have, our man boobs would have been on show now, had our t-shirts wet. Wouldn't have been too appealing.
Yeah, true. A cooking pot brought an Indian couple to their wedding ceremony. So they got this man and woman. They were on their way to the wedding, but the place is flooded. Obviously, lots of floods over in India at the moment. Hope they get well soon.
Condolences.
Yeah, and so they got in this massive cooking pot. You can picture it, a big cauldron type. And they travelled by. It took 20 minutes for them to get to the temple, and so even the father of the groom swam to the wedding ceremony, and others used another pot. So very inventive.
Right. Where was the wedding?
India. But they were Indians themselves.
Why did he swim to the wedding?
Because it's flooded.
Oh, yes.
So sorry. They didn't have a pot.
They floated in the pot. Wow.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it?
That is crazy.
Yeah. Can you imagine it? In other news, if you're ever, do you fall asleep on when you're driving or when you're driving? Hopefully not.
I haven't.
But say like when you're a passenger or anything, no?
The odd times I'd have to be very tired. Very tired.
Yeah, for some reason there's a tour company in Hong Kong and they're trying to appeal to people that do fall asleep on it to join their 5-hour tour, and it's particularly guided for people who find it easy to sleep on public transport. Seems like a niche market. I don't know if it's going to last, Mark.
It happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Stamp once fell asleep on the bus home from Dublin and his mother had to collect him in Ferns.
Oh, no way!
I know of another story of a lad from Gorey who was on a night out in Dublin and he wanted to get the bus home to Gorey after, fell asleep. Oh no, sorry, he was on a night out in Wexford Town, wanted to get home to Gorey and he woke up in Dublin Airport.
Oh wow, Janie Mac. That's mad. I remember someone went to, I think it was one of the Strictly Come Dances, and he supported us, so I'll keep his identity anonymous for this. But he had a drink with us in the Fowler, and he met Billy Byrne, and he was delighted with that. He just thought Billy Byrne was, and he is the man. And then we boarded the bus, and he shifted one of the women on the bus that was getting off at Arklow, and then he made his way up to Dublin. Wasn't that some eventful bus journey?
That's class.
Yeah, that's class.
Was she on a night out as well?
Can we get him on the podcast? Was he on the night? I don't know. I don't really know. Yeah, it's mad.
That's great.
It's a good story.
What a story.
Yeah. Quilpie in the Australian Outback, Mark, is attracting young families. It's located 1,000 kilometres from Brisbane, and Aussies willing to build a house there qualify for a grant worth 10,000 US or Australian dollars.
Right.
And that's roughly the equivalent of land prices there. So effectively, the town is giving away land for free.
Jesus. Why?
Because they're trying to get skilled people like mechanics, bartenders, nurses, those type of people into the area. Did you find the Outback? I imagine it's the type of place where you were on your cattle farm study.
Yeah, very little people there. They're trying to gentrify it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
I can see why though, but like when I was there was when remember they were showing all over the world about the fires in Australia.
Yeah.
Real bad fires. That was the start of COVID actually.
Oh yeah.
Remember it was fires, then COVID, and everyone thought the world was ending. But they were saying like the Australians I knew were saying that this happens all the time. For some reason the news is just picking onto it this year. That like people build houses in these areas because they cost fuck all because everyone knows they're going to burn down because of the fires that happen every year. I'm sure the fires happened there this year. It's just the news had something else to talk about.
Yeah.
But they're like these people knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Or not that they knew, but like they just took a cheap house in a place where wildfires will spread. Yeah. They took a risk.
House insurance is a big deal over there, isn't it? Like, you know, if it's everything really, sure, because of that. But on Australia and that, did you find politics kind of entrenched, or did you find a lot of people with strong political views?
No, there was one fella I worked with who his mother was Northern Irish Protestant, and he hated Catholics.
Oh, right.
And he knew I was one, but he said I was okay. He liked me.
Right.
But this guy he was a bit off anyway. But like,
Okay.
that was the only real thing I found. I don't know, like, there seems to be a big push back against the government over there at the minute with all these lockdowns and stuff. Especially Scott Morrison, who is not Flavour of the Month. He's the MP, like the Taoiseach of Australia, and he's putting down all these strict lockdown laws. I think there's curfews and all, isn't there, still in Melbourne?
Right.
Can't be out after 10, and I think you can only be outside to go grocery shopping and other essential things.
Right.
That might have changed by now, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I found that because everyone has to vote over there, they're very exercised about politics. And when you say about fires burning and that, there were some people that we met that were blaming the Greens because they didn't want, the Greens had stopped the back burning, or and that then influenced more fires because that natural process.
And that's correct.
Yeah.
You have to burn, because if you think about it, it's like fire spreads. So what you do is you prepare for the fire by burning out a large strip of land first, so it doesn't spread any further. So when it gets to the original end of the land that's going to catch fire, it doesn't spread further on.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it stops there because there's nothing else to burn because that's already burnt. And the Greens were saying this is terrible and all. You're burning fucking trees, burning like a couple of acres instead of burning fucking 500 acres. You know, sure, that's the world we live in, isn't it?
That's it. Mark, have you ever thought of, actually, shout out to our sponsors, Paper Tuesdays, or
shout out Paper Tuesdays.
Sound Out Rhythm, there, we please God, there'll be another Sound Out Rhythm making noise.
We have a new guest on the way.
New guest, yeah. And anyway, they're probably thinking about a name at the moment. And would you believe that names like Nigel, Gary and Jordan are endangered in the UK?
No way.
They're as baby names. There were more Lucifers born than Garys last year.
Yeah, why would you name a child Gary in fairness? Gary or fucking Kyle or something.
Yeah.
Or Jordan I thought would have been popular.
Yeah.
Nigel is a bad one.
No.
Why would you call it baby Nigel?
I think they're just, and they also said Piers. I think they're just drawn, it's the tabloid articles. I think they're just, Nigel Farage, Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
Throw eggs at them.
Yeah.
But anyway, Lucifer apparently is from the Netflix series Lucifer. I didn't know there was one.
Right.
Yeah. Very pop culture like.
These kids.
And then apparently Sex Education, the Netflix series, has influenced rises in the names Maeve and Otis.
Really?
So we actually take, I'm sure it doesn't surprise you, but like we are taking names from television programs now.
Yeah.
Dan.
What I've noticed is a lot of babies being born with the middle name May.
Oh.
After, and I don't know, I can't make a direct correlation here, but Molly May from Love Island.
Oh.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So we definitely do take it. You take it in from what you see, don't you?
I suppose we do. Yeah.
A few babies called it Ada as well after Peaky Blinders came out.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I'd never heard of an Ada before I watched Peaky Blinders. Now there's a good few babies around called Ada.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Really. Squid Game is the phase of the year, Mark.
Yeah.
You watched the last episode?
I watched only the last episode and I didn't have a clue what was going on. I had a nightmare about it though. Did I tell you about? I told you about that nightmare. Yeah. So.
What happened in the nightmare?
Oh, so in the nightmare there was. We were in a room. We were in a hotel or somewhere. Myself and Breed, and there was a intercom system on the top of the wall, like there is in Squid Game. I think, but it was in the last episode, and so the intercom was telling us to do stuff that they were asking the couples to do on Married at First Sight. So it was like getting us to do these like staring into each other's eyes and all these kind of fucking yokes. We weren't doing them, and then I turned off the light, got into bed. There was only one bed in the room. When I got into the bed, I looked out the window, and in the moonlight I saw another bed with a little person sitting up in it, a little boy reading a book. And I just went back in the bed. I was like, that's not. And then I looked again. It was still there, staring at me. And I went, who are you, or what are you doing? And it goes, I'm blank, Breed's little sister's name. And I was like, no, you're not. You're a boy. And then it just didn't say that and stared back at me. And then I woke up shouting. I don't know what I was shouting. But when I woke up, I had a cold patch in the centre of my back that felt like someone's hand was on me. I swear to God, I didn't tell you this because I actually forgot it. But it was like, and I felt it intensely, like I was facing, so my bed is in the back room there, and I was facing away from the door, and there's a space beside me where someone would be able to stand over me and put their hand on my back, and my back was off, the blanket was not on my back, so someone could have put their hand there, and it was only in like the size of the palm of a hand. Felt cold, freezing cold.
That's mad.
And I've woke myself up shouting twice in the past week.
So you wake up and you realise you're shouting?
Yeah, like my lips are moving. And I'm
Right.
shouting as I'm waking up. Like in my dream I'm shouting, and then I wake up and my lips are moving.
What are you saying?
Like that was like, I don't know what I was saying, but then the second time I woke up and I was having a dream that we had pet lions and I was playing with the lions. It was actually half a lion, half a Labrador. And it grabbed a hold of my arm and wouldn't let go. And I was shouting, ah, ah, ah. And I woke up and I was like, ah, ah, ah.
That's bad.
Yeah. It's the full moon, Michael.
The full moon is right. But you're also on the CBD oil. It's multitude of factors,
Oh,
really.
I know,
Like the CBD oil would induce that, I suppose, would
I
it?
probably would, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I take a lot of stuff, but like I was taking sleepy tea. I think that night I was taking sleepy tea. I had an Epsom salt bath. I took CBD oil. I took magnesium. So there was a lot of stuff in my system. Yeah. A cocktail.
Yeah.
A cocktail was it. Now, Michael,
Yeah.
I have something for you.
Okay.
So we were talking about journaling recently,
Yeah.
and I decided you have a lot on your plate.
Right.
I'll do your diary for you.
Oh,
For a day.
right. Okay.
So I wrote your diary for one day, and I'd like you to read it. So here we go. Here is yesterday in the life
Okay.
of Michael Dwyer.
Thank you. Dear Diary, today started just out. Dear Diary, today started out just as any other. I arise from my slumber, vault out of bed, and remove my Ryan Tuberty pyjamas. I then sit in my peace seat and, and meditate for 6 hours. Upon my return from Nirvana, I kiss my dear Ash on her forehead and wish her a namaste. The journey to Mark Halpin Fitness begins. Or does it? The Clio Sport takes a rest day as the massage on her circuit board fails to excite her. I even tried spelling the alphabet with the strokes. I take the other car. I arrive at the gym and surprise, surprise, Mark is dressed like Bart Simpson again. He pretends to be watching my form, but I know for a fact he is staring enviously at my socks. You do too. After making sweet cardiovascular love to the assault bike, I cool myself down to the sweet sound of DJ Kino's Gym Emojis playlist. And I'm on my way. Off to an escorty I go, listening on the way to a podcast about Russell Brand's beard, hosted by a man who has been feeding himself from the same tin of beans for 3 years. I arrive to work and take the phone off the hook. I'm not in the mood for it today. Instead, I draft a letter to Paul Catlin inquiring about white Boris. Once that's signed, sealed, and handed over to Paul Moore's people, it's time for a kombucha. I go to the office fridge. There has been a kombucha heist. There's only one thing to do at a time like this: meditate. 2 hours later, I resume my place in reality and begin my search for the culprit. I didn't have to look far though. I see it on a co-worker's desk. After a quick tete-a-tete. Tete-a-tete. Is that French?
I think so. That's right.
I'd say I'm good at tete-a-tetes with said co-worker. It seems she confused it as she thought it was alcohol and I was getting drunk at work. Oh sweetie, little do you know, I'm not drunk at work, I'm drunk on work. Oh my gosh. This is so sad. 5:30 arrives and I drive home to HQ. Along the way, I listen to the Nationwide theme tune on repeat, as I do every day. I open the exterior door to the house, closely followed by a gory interior door into the kitchen. I eat my goat's cheese while Keaton serenades me with the violin, as I then prepare the ceremonial matcha tea while we wait for the main event. And yes, there it is. Anne Doyle at the 9 o'clock news. It was a barrel of laughs again this evening, as usual. And that then brings us right up to where we are now. Just another day on the green platform, as Declan Coyne, not John Coyne, would say. Ta-ta and farewell. Namaste, diary. P.S. I really think I fancy Ashton. Scones, PT. Wow, that is sensational. Do you know, I think most of that is actually true. You don't have do you have a bit of variety, but like when you're in a 9-to-5 job, like I know maybe not 6 hours of meditation, but like sometimes it can seem a chore with fitness, but as in it's a, you know, you have to do it, but there were days like today, and sometimes like days like today, the discipline of this diary entry are invigorating. And just to see it on paper, isn't it great to pack so much into life? And yeah, Mark, that's sensational. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
It has so many personal touches, including the colon L face. What made you want to do that?
I don't know. I only wrote about half an hour before you came.
Really?
Yeah, just
I love it. That's great. Would I change anything? I'd probably meditate less. 6 hours seems excessive. But yeah. Wow. That's fantastic. About the Squid Game, I was telling you, Mark, that for Halloween, this is the phase of the year. This Halloween, searches for red jumpsuits are up 170%, and green tracksuits are available on Etsy if you want them. So now, would you be dressing up this year?
I have no plans for a costume.
Yeah.
I probably should have. Do you?
No.
No?
No, I never dress up. Really. Well, I used to dress up as Dracula, but that's about the height of it. I was a big Dracula man. Did you have a regular one you went to?
No. No, I never really dressed up.
Did you not?
No, not since I was a child. We used to have a little green dragon outfit that we all wore. It was like age 3 to 4. And sure, that just passed through all of us. Started with Michael, got all his way to Shane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the only one I really remember about Halloween. But would you play the games? Like, would you play the bobbing for apples or
no,
hang the apple
not
from the
recently.
ceiling?
No, but you did last year, and
We
you
did
found it
last
quite difficult, didn't you?
Yeah, the bobbing for apples. I hate seeing the teeth.
Yeah.
I think I have a chip tooth at the minute, actually. Cold drinks and stuff, Art. I hear Shane now.
There's Shane. Thanks to Shane and Robbie for their usual support. Oh yeah, this one about American healthcare. New Yorker Kelsey Vermanian was en route to hospital. She was about to give birth, but then the car broke down and she called an ambulance, and it was going to cost them $1,000 just to get the ambulance from there to the hospital. Yeah. Instead, her husband and her started walking the half-mile to the hospital, and on the walk her waters broke, but thankfully Prairie was born without incident.
Prairie?
Yeah. You judged there. You silently judged there.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Prairie. So I was trying to think, people go for a walk on the prairie.
Oh yeah.
That's where they got from. Jesus Christ, I was born on the street.
Yeah, they must have made it somehow to the hospital, but $1,000, and like it wasn't that far. It was only for a half mile. For an ambulance.
1,000. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I remember when I was in New York, I know it's only one incident, but I remember there was an ambulance at a crossroads and I was trying to get through and the cars wouldn't move.
No way.
You just take for granted that cars would move at a junction, but no.
Yeah. I know 2 people who have given birth in the car on the way to the hospital.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about Ashton's sister Neve?
No.
She was born at the Mint. They were on the way to the hospital and there was a guard escort, but the guards kept going. But see, she was. They were around 20 minutes away, and they had to pull in at the bus stop at the Mint, and. But sure, the guards kept going and didn't realise until they arrived at the hospital that they'd lost them. So. But she was delivered safely and it worked out grand. And do you think you'd be cool and collected on it?
I don't know. You'd have to be, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But like, fuck me. How much are new car seats? You reckon they'd fare well?
I think once I had them on the phone, if I had them on the phone and I was able to cut the cord, then it'd be alright, yeah.
You'd get the hospital on the phone.
Or the 999 people are able to talk you through it. They're able to say.
What would you cut the cord with? Yeah, might have to bite it off. Or maybe it just stays attached.
Yeah. I read somewhere before that you can... that they say that you should leave it attached, but sure, that was nonsense. You have to cut it at some stage.
Yeah. Like imagine you had some attached to you with a rope.
Mm.
Your little person here. Like
yeah.
It's not even hands free.
No. Yeah. I think I'd need to do with the deep breathing as well though.
Would you?
Yeah.
You'd be panicking? Yeah. Ashlyn would be soothing you with the breathing. 4 in, 4 out.
Yeah, a bit of Wim Hof. Pablo Escobar. What a man.
What a man, lads.
He's rapidly producing Colombian cocaine hippos. Yes. I didn't know there was such a... Oh, you did.
Have you... Go on.
Oh, yeah. So, some scientists called for a cull of these hippos because they were mass-produced and were causing a problem. So then, enter a regional environmental agency, and they've introduced a contraceptive for these hippos called Gonacon. And 24 hippos have undergone this treatment now. It's much needed as hippo waste apparently impacts the fish and ultimately humans.
That's interesting about the hippos. Apparently they were just living in his old mansion. He had like the hippos as a pet or whatever, and he died and the mansion was just vacated. Hippos were left there and then they bred and then they just took over. It's like the Everglades with the snakes in Florida.
Oh my gosh.
But on the contraception thing, there's a new male contraceptive out.
Alright, what does it involve?
So it's hormone free and reversible. So male contraceptive bath device wins Dyson Award. The groundbreaking device promises to give men a reliable, pain-free form of birth control by using heat and their private parts. So it's this little bath and it's shaped in the cup for your balls. You put it in, it heats up your balls, so it's a groundbreaking form of male contraception. Use a testicle bath and it prevents pregnancy. It comes from Germany. Apparently the device uses ultrasound DP to cause sperm mobility in the testicles to be modified and temporarily cease.
Would you trust it?
No. Like, how do you know it's going to come back, like? Do you know? It means the female egg cannot be fertilized by the sperm during sex. The users simply needing to use the device every few months for the contraceptive to take effect. When my partner and I were looking for an alternative male, we became aware of the lack of male contraceptives. Yeah, so I wouldn't do it personally, but apparently, like, cold is good for the opposite.
Oh yeah.
It's good for sperm motility and stuff like that.
You've said that, yeah. That
there was a fella I was reading before, and he had very low sperm count or something. He got tested, and all he did was change. He made sure he got 8 hours of sleep. He ate more vegetables, and he took cold showers instead of warm ones, and he tripled his sperm count just by doing that in 4 months.
It's unreal.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's brilliant to hear though. That it can be as simple as that for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other Reddit tales for us, Mark?
You can hire fat people in Japan now.
Hire them?
You can rent them.
What do you do with them?
So you can now rent fat people in Japan. A new company seeks to change the image of being overweight in Japanese society. One of the more unusual industries to appear in Japan in recent years is the rent-a-person business. There was a rent-a-middle-aged dude and rent-a-sister services we tried out, for example, and now comes a new innovation, a company that will let you rent a fat person. We should point out that the fat designation come from the company itself, which is called debukari, from the Japanese word fat and rent. Debukari's weight threshold is 100 kilograms, but they also have over 125 and over 150 kilogram classes. Another important point of Debukari is not a romantic escort, erotic entertainment, or otherwise titillating service. The company states that its goal is to promote progression away from an era where being fat had a negative image. asserting that in Japan it takes a skill to reach a weight of over 100 kilograms. In fact, it's actually an offshoot of plus-size men's clothing store Quizilla by Mr. Bliss, although the boucherie also offers women and other gender people.
Right. I see.
What would you rent one to do?
I don't know. Seems a bit excessive, doesn't it? Sumo wrestling though, I wonder, is that connected? Are they going to do a collab maybe or something like that?
Could be. Maybe. Sponsorship.
It's sponsorship.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say...
What could you possibly rent one for?
No, I don't get it. And there are other things surely to focus on. There's other business opportunities. I don't know, I don't get... It's a bit mad, alright.
Speaking of business opportunities, shout out to Salt Rock Dairy.
Oh yeah.
I got their milk last night. It was class. So it's a whole thing. Like you go in, you buy the milk bottles, you get your syrup, and then it's contactless. You pay, and then it gives you the milk. It's like a vending machine for milk, which I didn't understand. I thought you just went and bought the milk.
Yeah.
But it's fully automated, which is very cool.
It's the way to go, isn't it? It reminds me a bit of... I'm looking to go to Estonia, Mark. I don't know why.
Right.
Yeah, I want to go to Estonia because they're leading the way as kind of like the modern country that's appealing to business, appealing to entrepreneurs, appealing to crypto and the like. And they have now robots delivering post. And they're just seem quite open-minded, so I think we could learn a bit from what they're trying to do in bringing Estonia right up to the current year.
Yeah, Estonia is just bypassing the last century and going straight to the next one.
Yeah,
because they were
it's a bit like what you've been learned recently, that like communist countries, you know, they the symbols that we take for granted on our clothing and everything just are brand new for them.
They don't have brands, they don't have films, they don't have like American television. It's all the television propaganda. Like they choose what you can see. It's just wild. Like, what were we saying before that? What were we talking about before?
Technology, Estonia. And business opportunities, Salt Rock.
No,
and automation.
Something to do with Estonia. I can't remember now. No, it's gone. It's gone. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Is it time for the big reveal, Mark? Shall we? Robbie, you can cut this in or leave this out. Paper Tuesdays is going live, Mark.
Oh yeah, we might as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing a live show in Gorey on the 3rd of December.
It's a Friday night. It's 8 o'clock throw-in. It's going to be a bumper packed night of entertainment.
It is. It's going to be a good crack. It's going to be a first.
Yeah.
So get there. You want to see the first one?
The first one. And we're meeting regularly to, you know, we want to put on a big show for you. And our main man on the night will be Conor MacDonald, and our other main men will be Billy Byrne and Ger Cush, and our main woman of the night is Brie Brown. This is going to be one memorable occasion. We would really appreciate if you bought tickets, and they're €17 each, and they'll be on sale from greatevents.ie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get there early.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just for the Boris.
Yeah.
You can do it.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Mark, have we any other thoughts?
Any other thoughts, parting thoughts? No, Halloween is coming up.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
What do you think of teachers, and they get a week off now? Do you envy them?
No, because I know some teachers, and one of them was telling me today that they were worked until 10 or 11 every night this week so that they could take next week off and not have to do paperwork.
Wow. Okay, that puts a different complexion on things.
Then there's other teachers that tell me they're professional golfers in the summer because the government pays them to play golf. So there's two ends of the spectrum there.
There is, yeah. Well, enjoy it if you're a teacher, and
if you're not, don't.
Yeah. Just
don't
do your
enjoy
9 to 5, and you know, watch Anne Doyle in the evening, and you get some release from that.
Grin and bear it.
Yeah.
Go home and take it out on the dog.
Let's leave it on that.
Let's leave it on that. Ta-ta and farewell. Namaste.